y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I've seen this design and I have been so wanting to try it, so I figured I would give it a try. I'm going to be using the gel polishes from OG. This is Krull The Warrior King and Casper. I'm also going to be using this Born Pretty jelly gel that I've used in previous videos. It is the perfect like nude color. Since the tips are already nude, I just wanted like a semi-nude base for it. Also, I'm going to be making the shell design with non-sticky builder gel and a generic, don't know where I got it from, chrome polish or chrome powder. I have no idea where I picked it up from. It's one of them nail supplies that were in the drawer that just happened to get used this time. I played around with the design before I got onto the live just to make, or to the video, just to make sure that I had an idea of what I was going to do. Also, I'm going to use these rhinestones that I got in the charm box, the spring charm box, because they just match perfectly. That blue is the color that I'm going to use for, blue and gold are the colors I'm going to use for this nail set. Also, I wanted to quickly show you all the colors since I didn't open the polish bottles. Here are the colors that I'm going to use for the nails. Now, I don't end up using the white to draw the scales on. I do that with stamping, so I don't end up showing that until later. So I will show you that when the time comes. All right, so while I'm waiting for my peel base to dry is what I was showing. My peel base wasn't quite dry yet. I'm gonna kind of show you how I did the little shell design pieces with the chrome. Also, before anybody says anything, I know you're not supposed to touch the gel with your hands, but I forgot in the moment because this was literally my first time. So I did it with my hands. Next time I will use a finger cut or a glove. I promise, y'all. I promise. But I just forgot in the moment. And I won't make it a regular thing. So please forgive me. And just kind of watch what I'm doing, and I hope you enjoy what I'm doing versus watching what I'm actually doing. Anyway, let's get back to what we're doing. You just need the smallest amount. And I tried to rub it with the spatula, but it was made as it got longer, as the noodle, I guess you could say, got longer. It ended up making dents with the spatula, so that's when I started to use my fingers because it just made it smooth. And then when it levels out, you can't see any more fingerprints, so I didn't really worry about that. But I didn't want to use gloves because it didn't really cross my mind. I didn't think it was going to matter, but it's still gel, so please use gloves or take safety when doing this. Please do not do what I do. Also, there's a little bit of chrome that was left on the paper from when I was already doing it before, so I just kind of rolled it up a little bit. And then all I did with the chrome was I took my applicator brush and I just dabbed it onto the sticky builder gel, and then I just kind of rolled it around in it, and it chromed the builder gel. I was like, this is so cool. I had never tried this before, never played with it, but I've seen these shell nails everywhere, and I wanted to try it for myself. I didn't even look up a tutorial, honestly. I just figured that this might work. Some people can do it. You can do it with regular builder gel. You can do it with sculpting clay. But I did it like this because I wanted to try it out. And it ended up working. So now my peel base is dry. And I'm going to actually go ahead and get into doing the nails. Now, I follow the picture exactly because I was obsessed with that picture and I've had it saved for about a year now, and I have been wanting to try that design. So I figured I would just go ahead and try that and try it out. You know, it's been about a year and a half, creeping up on 2 years since I've been doing my own nails, and I figure I need to branch out and I need to try new things. And rhinestones, 3D designs, being able to see a design online and being like, oh my gosh, I love that so much. I wonder if I could do it. Instead of just wondering, this is my year to try those things. So I decided that I was going to tackle that one. It is actually for a collab as well. It's called the Together We Manny collab. It's on Instagram, and there's also a new Facebook page for it. Every month there's a new theme. It's hosted by Bree Hart now. And I enjoy doing that every month. It's a new theme. It's fun to see what everybody comes up with just the theme. It's so awesome. There's no rules, and you can pretty much let your creativity just go wherever you want it to go, and however you interpret the theme, which I think is pretty awesome. So just wanted to explain about that. So now what I am going to do, I'm going to do one layer, on all the nails of the first color. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a second layer on the pinky, the index finger, and the thumb, because those are the only ones that need 2 layers in my opinion, because I wanted to keep the jelly gel. I just wanted to put a base down so that when I go to pop the color off, it will come off. And now if I just did the rhinestones and stuff on it, it wouldn't work so well. It wouldn't come off as I wanted it to do it. But I also don't want to add too much color because then it will turn too pink, and I wanted it to stay as nude and neutral as possible because I do like the color of the tips. I like the color that I got them. I like to keep them nude underneath any kind of like polish or anything, just so that in case I don't have time to do my nails for a few days, they will still be nude and neutral and pretty. They won't be clear and look like crazy to me. So I just think that I like the nude neutral look a lot better. All right, so here I'm working on my second coat. I am not going to do anything on those 2 like I had said. I'm just going to do those 3. I'm going to give it a cure. And then here's where I started to learn some lessons. I top coated. I would have done it a little bit different. So what I did was I top coated my 3 fingers at my pinky and my index finger, and then I was like, I need to put the rhinestones down before I do the design so that I can know how far back I need to make my color portion at the tip of the nail. So I went ahead and I did the top coat on the middle finger and the ring finger, right? So what I think I would have done a little bit differently is I would have done a matte top coat, and I would have stuck the rhinestones on with a glue gel, like a rhinestone glue, versus doing it this way. But I mean, because then the surface would already be matte and I would already be able to draw on it versus having to buff the shine and then do it. I mean, either way works, but I think I want to try that way next. I honestly, with these rhinestones being so small, I have no problem with just applying a top coat and attaching them with the top coat. Now, anything bigger than the biggest one that I used on this nail usually needs a top coat or usually needs a rhinestone glue, but I haven't had any problem with any of my stones falling off with just using a top coat. I've used a bow before. I've used different size ones, and I never have any issue with just using a top coat and then popping off. And I'm pretty rough on my nails, but then again, the longest I ever wear something with the design like this is about 3 or 4 days, because after about that many days, the rhinestones and stuff start to get to me. They just start to annoy me. I guess you could say the texture, them getting caught on everything. I mean, I have 4 kids. I'm still changing diapers, doing hair. All right, so we are set right here. I could have just left it like this, but I wanted to match the picture. So I took some of the glitter polish and the white polish and I put it on my palette. And then I realized that in order to draw on the nails, I was going to need a matte surface because it's easier to draw. So I just took a buffer and I just buffed the tip of the nail where I would be doing the drawing, which, I mean, it's not a bad thing to do. It worked out this way too, but then I could have skipped the buffing step is all I'm saying. That's all. I want to try it the other way next time. It wasn't bad and it worked out fine. I just feel like I could have skipped the buffing step and just did the other step, the matte step. I'm not sure if the rhinestones will stick onto a matte top coat. I don't know. I figure it will work the same, just a different finish. So I guess I'll have to try that next time. That's very, very interesting. I don't know. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the drawing of the lines. I do speed it up a little bit. I also zoom in a little bit, I think, for you so you can watch me drawing everything. Yeah, I zoom in. So I just draw from the center of the tip of where I've made the rhinestones. The tip doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to place a rhinestone to make kind of like up at the point to make that edge. So now I'm just going to fill in the rest of it with white. I decided to get the bigger brush because that was a lot to kind of draw in, but I fill the rest in with white, and then I make this same design on the middle finger, but I do it with the glitter, and I draw it out the same way, and then I end up doing 2 layers just because one layer wasn't quite giving me the opacity that I was wanting to match the other nails. Now that's the thing that I always like have an issue with if I'm doing like the same color and I'm doing even a design with it. I have to do the same amount of layers to get the same opacity so that everything kind of gels and matches together. I don't know, maybe I could just do 1 layer. I'm gonna try to branch out and try things that I don't usually try, and if it's a flop, it's a flop, and if it's a success, then it's a success. Which is the only reason why I recorded this Manny, actually, because I was like, what if I really, really love it and people really like it too, and they ask me how to do it, and I'm like, man, I have to record it again. So I just recorded my first try. I had never tried anything like this before. So I figured you guys could either share in my success or share in my failure. Either way. But I think it turned out really, really good. I didn't leave the gel just like plain. I went ahead and like flash cured it for like 5-10 seconds so that the gel wouldn't move around while I was working on my middle finger. I wanted to just cure it just a little bit just in case so I wouldn't bump it. I went ahead and cured it. Now I'm going to do the middle finger. And I think it actually turned out really good. I really didn't have to do any design on top of this if I didn't want to. I just decided to go ahead and continue with my shell nail because, I mean, why not? It was so cool. It's something I've been seeing, something I wanted to try, and I just recently bought this non-sticky builder gel, and I've been loving it to apply my tips as well, which I will be showing in a future video as well. It is like the Vetsy solid glue that I've showed before. The only difference is that it is non-sticky, which means that it's not going to stick to you or your tools and stuff when you're using it, and it doesn't make a sticky mess everywhere. So if y'all have been curious about non-sticky builder gel, y'all definitely should try it. It is totally a game changer. The not sticky part, meaning you can use it for designs, you can use it to adhere your rhinestones, I'm sure. You can use it to extend your nails, and you can also use it to apply tips. Now, I have not done a majority of those. The only thing I have currently used it for, well, I've done half of them, I guess you could say now. I've only used it for the shell design, and I have used it to adhere my tips. I have not used it to extend my nails because I am not a builder gel extension girl. I don't like all the filing and shaping that comes with the builder gel poly gel thing, though I do plan on trying it soon, so stay tuned for my endeavor into builder gel and poly gel. I don't like all the work because, I mean, like I said before, I do have 4 kids. I do homeschool all of them. I have a lot going on, and I'm very busy a lot of the time. So I like to put tips on because they're already shaped. It's just easier for me. All right, y'all. So now we are going to get into the fun part. So I go ahead and I put the top coat. Now, I didn't top coat my nails. I just needed the top coat because that's what I apply the rhinestones with. And I'm going to put the 2 rhinestones that I was telling you about on the tip of the rhinestone cluster, I guess you could say, so that you can cover up that tip that's in that's at the tip of the design where it meets the rhinestone cluster, so that it looks connected and looks cohesive and it kind of matches really well. So I just wanted to leave that not looking crazy, so I just added that tip there, and it ended up working out really good. It kind of took that weird edge off. So now we're going to get into the shell nail design. I'm doing the exact same thing that I showed you in the beginning, but I am already using the pieces that I had made. So the problem I found was when you make the pieces ahead of time like I did, they stick to the surface. So you probably don't want to make them ahead of time because they will stick to whatever surface that you're doing, unless you do what I do. And I just took the pieces that I already made and chromed, and I just kind of rolled them up into a little ball and rolled them back out into a noodle again. I just think it was kind of like almost a waste of time to do it ahead of time. But that's the only thing I did before the video to make sure that it even worked with the chrome. I mean, I was still going to do it either way, but I wasn't sure if it was going to work. with the chrome, so I wanted to try it ahead of time. And all I had to do was re-roll it out into the noodle shapes and apply them to the nail. It wasn't hard to do at all. And you could definitely do a bunch of fun designs with it. It totally worked for the shell nail though. So for you guys that are intimidated by the shell nails with the beach season coming and all the ones that you've been seeing, you can totally do it this way, and it is so easy to do. Now I do end up doing three. What I do another at least one. So I do 3, 4, 5 things total. Yeah, I think I do 5 total. I'm not sure. Well, you'll see. And I forget already. But I did this about a week ago, and I really loved it. I wanted to have enough time to do it if I didn't like how it turned out, to be able to redo it. But it turns out really, really well, I think. And I was pleasantly surprised in myself. And I know that I did mess up in the very beginning. So in the very beginning, when I was starting the nail set, on top of the peel base, I should have laid down a gel base and then started with my color so that it would stick better, because after a few days it started to peel up because I didn't have that base layer of the gel base underneath on top of the peel base to kind of seal in the color and help it last a little bit longer. So I did realize that was an error in my ways. And then also, I did not wipe the tacky layer off of the gel polish. So when I laid down this non-sticky builder gel on top of the gel polish, then it was still tacky. It wanted to stay. Like, I could not move it. So I would recommend wiping the tacky layer off so that if you place it in the wrong place, you could pick it up and remove it. It was not happening for me, so I am very thankful that I started placing everything where it needed to go. Also, I went ahead and I cured the one side so that I didn't bump anything and move it after I found out that once it was stuck, just so that if I bumped it, I wouldn't like have a catastrophe and a panic attack. Like, I realized it was stuck and I needed it to go up higher, so I tried to move it, and eventually I was just like, this is gonna be what it's gonna be. So couple of lessons learned, couple of things I would have done different. Every mani is a learning lesson for me. I don't toss any of them per se. There are some that never see the light of day, for sure. They don't even see the end of the mani, or they see just the end long enough for me to say, yep, I hate it, and I take it off. But I try to keep my failures and all of that trial processes in, like, keep them in my head as a reminder, as a learning experience of what I can do differently next time, because it's not all going to be perfect, especially if you're going to try something new. So don't let the fear of failure keep you from trying anything. It may not be perfect the first time. It may not, but it also may. Like, I thought this was my first time doing this, and I really thought it ended up turning out pretty great. I was very surprised that I actually had the guts to try it, record it, and go through with it, and it turned out exactly like I wanted. So please do not give up. Please do not try something just because you fear you might not be able to do it. Just give it a try and see how it goes. You might actually surprise yourself. Also, yes, I am so sorry I was out of video. I was trying with this one on the side over here to get it where I needed it to go because I was so nervous that it was not going to go where it was supposed to go. But it ended up working out really good. So after I do this nail, I tried to attempt to draw on the middle nail, but I don't have gel paints. I have gel polish, which is why you now see it matte. I tried to draw, and the polish is not quite thin enough for me to be able to draw, so I need to invest in some gel paints ASAP. So I was like, oh, I have the stamping plate. Let's see how it goes. And I was actually able to pick my stamp up on the first try and put it on my nail in the exact spot that I wanted it. And wow, I was so shocked. I was having a very good mani day. And sometimes that does not happen, but when it does, I just kind of roll with it. I just put the stamp on and then press down the edges so that it kind of folds over where I wanted it to fold over. And then it's a little outside of the gold, so then I just take a cleanup brush and some acetone, and I just clean off the spots till it matches up with the gold or champagne color, I guess you could say. Just dip the brush in some acetone, an angled brush, and then I just slowly and carefully wipe off what doesn't need to be on there, and I just wipe off all of the parts that are not on the gold, because that's all I wanted it to be on, was just the color so that it would match the picture. Then I let it dry a little bit, and I use a smudge free top coat, and I float it over. So when I say float it over, it means barely touch the nail, pretty much like just drag it ever so closely on the top so that you don't smudge it. And this will keep me from smudging it at all, because once you smudge your stamping design, you pretty much want to scream and throw everything in the air. So just be very, very, very careful, and make sure that you are watching what you're doing and have a very gentle touch. So after I do the smudge free top coat, I let it dry for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'll go back in with a gel base coat and a gel top coat and go ahead and top the entire thing. And then I always finish off with a cuticle oil at the end, just to make everything, refresh everything, make everything feel and look nice. And then here is what I ended up with, y'all. Like, isn't that awesome? I am absolutely obsessed with how it came out. Y'all will have to let me know how you think it compares to the original. I'm going to toss that photo in at the end. But I want to hear your thoughts on what you guys thought of this process, what you guys think about these nails, especially that shell nail. Maybe consider subscribing. Definitely leave me a comment down below with your final thoughts. I would love to hear them, and I will catch you on the next one. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.